Alright, I'm going to teach you how to play open-face Chinese poker. Um, Basically, the objective of the hand is you're going to be given 13 cards. This is one player, player A and player B. Each of you is going to be dealt 13 cards face up. Well, they're dealt face down, but you place them face up. And basically, you're going to build three separate poker hands: a back hand, a middle hand, and a front hand. And this hand is going to compete directly with your opponent's back hand, your middle with their middle, and your front with their front. And the goal is to try and have a better poker hand on all three hands. However, your hand has to be valid. It cannot foul. And a fouled hand is when, how would I word it? To not foul, your back hand has to be your strongest, your top hand has to be your weakest, and your middle strength hand. So this hand has to be beat by this hand has to be beat by this hand. Strongest, middle, weakest. That way your hand is valid and you do not foul. I will get into points a little bit later, but if you foul, then you instantly lose 6 points. Maybe more if your opponent has royalties. So there are two ways to earn points in this game. One is by winning each individual hand, and two is by getting harder to get hands like a flush or a straight, and you earn royalty points, extra bonus points on top of the normal scoring. So let's take a look at this hand. He's got an ace high, he's got a pair of threes, and he's got a pair of jacks. That is a valid hand. Weakest, ace high, pair of threes beats ace high, pair of jacks beats threes. Valid hand. It's valid. He does not foul. This guy's got queen high, pair of nines, and a flush, ace high flush in the back. His hand is valid and does not foul. Now I'm going to get into how you actually build these hands, how it's dealt out in a minute. But basically, if we were to score this hand, each victory is worth 1 point. So he beats him up. Player A beats him up top with ace high. Player B beats the middle with nines. And player B beats the back with the flush. Therefore, player B beat him 2 out of 3 times. If you're beat 2 out of 3 times, you basically get 1 point because you lose a point, win it back, so you're even, and now you win the back for 1 point. 2 out of 3 equals 1 point. If he would have scooped him on all 3 hands, then he would have won 3 points, but he would have also got a 3-point scoop royalty for 6 points. So if you scoop your opponent, you win 6 at least, and if you only win 2 out of 3, then you only get 1 point. If you lose 2 out of 3, you lose 1 point. Pretty basic. So let's actually play out a hand, and I will show you how the hand actually plays out. Because what we were looking at there is the end result. That would be the end of the hand when you'd score it. Let's start the hand from scratch. Player A is the dealer. Player B is not. Each player is dealt 5 cards face down. You can play up to 4 players at a time. Because each player gets 13 cards at the end of the hand, 4 players will deal out the entire deck. First player to the left has to set his hand first. He's basically going to take his hand and he's going to start building his 3 poker hands. Once your hand is set, you can't move the cards. You have to build them. So he could put, and you want your strength in the back, so he could do like a flush draw in the back. He could set his hand like that. Or he could just take the strength of the hand in the back and set his hand something a little bit more like this. Which would be probably the way I would set it. So basically, he's hoping as he draws out his next, because you're dealt first 5 cards all at once. After that, you only get one card at a time. And he does set his hand face up so everybody can see it. Basically, he's drawing to a full house in the back. If he hits a 10 or a 7, then his hand improves. So he's got several outs to improve his back. If he gets, and then these two cards work together. 3, 2 are suited and connected. So we'll put them in the same hand together. We don't have anything up top yet. Now the dealer has the advantage because he gets to watch player B set his hand first, and he can look at his hand and decide how he wants to set his hand. Now he's got the diamond draw. He doesn't have a pair or anything, so he'll probably actually go for the high diamond draw, king high flush draw, and the 4 and the 5 work together in the middle. Again, strength in the back. This way, even if he doesn't get his flush draw, if he pairs the king, 8, or 6, he can still pair the 4 or the 5 and not be fouling. Alright, and then at this point, all players have set their hands. Each player is dealt one card at a time, all the way to 13. He's got the 9 of spades. You can put it here, still kind of hoping that maybe he can get his 10s and 7s. All his 10s and 7s are live. 2 more 10s, 3 more 7s in the deck. This guy's got a 6. Go for the pair of 6s, but knowing that there's still plenty of diamonds out there, probably just set it here. A 4. I don't know. Doesn't really help. You're not going to put anything but a 10 and a 7 back here. I don't see it really improving there, so let's start building the top. You kind of build from the bottom up. You don't really want to just finish one hand at a time. You want to have some options of where to put it. A 9. It's not a diamond. I would hope to have hit another diamond by now, but I'm just going to put it up top. Stole his diamond. A 5, again, doesn't really help anywhere. 8. Now I'm starting to think I might just take the pair of 8s back here, because a couple diamonds is starting to look unlikely. Could even put it up here and hope to get diamonds and the straight, or I could put it up here. I don't know. I still think there's plenty of diamonds in the deck, so I'm gonna go ahead and chase them. Oh, the diamonds are all going to this player. He's going to go ahead and take that pair of 2s in the middle. Still hasn't hit his diamond. Things are starting to get scary for player A. Another diamond goes to this player. It's not a 10 or a 7. You could put it here and it would give you 3s and 2s, but then you absolutely must improve the bottom with a 10 or a 7. However, all the 10s and 7s are still live, so I don't know what the right play would be, but just to move the game along, let's take the strong hand. Queen of diamonds, ooh. Ace of diamonds, he would have loved that card. Guess we'll take the ace high up top. Oh, now it's like, do I want that king? Am I gonna get a diamond in the next 1, 2 draws? Probably not, so I'm actually gonna take the safe route. Just throw a king there and just try and not foul. Another 2 puts that here, so he needs a 10 or a 7 to improve. Another king, that would have been nice, but you could put the king here and you would no longer be fouling, but if you hit a jack or a 9 you will foul. Doesn't really help putting it up here because the ace beats you anyway, so I'm going to put it here and just hope to miss a jack or a 9 or an ace. Don't want a jack, 9, or ace. Last card has to go here. He does not improve, he fouls. And the 10, he's okay. So actually, as bad as things were looking for player A, he actually wins this hand. Because you have ace high, 2s and 3s, and then only a pair of 10s. So he fouls. It's the same as scooping, so this guy's going to win 6 as long as he doesn't foul. Jack high, king high, pair of kings. 6 points to player A. So let's go over points. So you can earn points the way he just did by scooping or winning points one at a time. You can also win points by getting royalties, which all a royalty is a hand that's hard to get, or a hand that's relatively hard to get. You get extra bonus points on top of your normal scoring. So in the back, you can get royalties by getting a straight or better. A straight is worth 2 points, flush 4 points, full house 6, quads 8s, and up. In the middle, it's the exact same scoring as the back, but because it's harder to get a strong hand in the middle, you double your points for a straight, 8 for a flush, and so on. And in the front, you can't get straights or flushes, but it is kind of hard to get a pair up front without fouling. So if you get a pair of 6s, you get an extra point, royalty, and the points just go all the way up to aces. You get 9s, and then trip 2s, 10 points, trip 3s, 11, all the way up, as you would expect. That's royalties. So say you scooped somebody and had a flush in the back, then you're going to get 6 points for the scoop, 4 points for the flush, for a total of 10 points. And when you win a point, 10 points, he loses his 10 points. If you were playing in a tournament, you would actually have chips in front of you, and you would actually throw them 10 chips at the end of the hand that you won, or however it played out. Scoop is 3 points. Queens are better in the front is Fantasyland, and that's not extra points, but what it is if you get a pair of queens or better up top in the front, which is really hard to do, the next hand you get to go to Fantasyland, which means all 13 cards are dealt out to you at once in the next hand, and you get to play your hand with a huge advantage of taking your 5 best cards and putting them in the back. You set your middle and you set your front, and then you set them face down just like that, and then the rest of the players at the table actually have to draw out normally, but you've already seen all your cards and you were able to make the perfect optimal decision, and you're most likely going to scoop, and you're most likely going to get royalties. And so it's always nice to go to Fantasyland. So it's always kind of nice to have a queen up top and try and get another queen, get a pair of queens or better up top. Queens, kings, aces, trips, whatever. And you go to Fantasyland. And that's essentially the entire game. Scoring using royalties. Each poker hand is worth 1 point. And that's open face Chinese poker.